and I'm not too sure what the problem was there with Sam, but not doing Wanganui. But interesting thing, talking Wanganui, the GJ Gardeners bike, and that is the Suzuki sitting Jaden Carrick, bike 55 alongside Toby Summers, one of the big double winners at Hampton Downs last week. That's a very, very clear bike, isn't it? The Dayglow, the green, and the black fairing sitting alongside 777 John Ross, number one, and he has the number one plate tight holder in this class, and Jaden Carrick holds the tight line down to Toyota for the first time, and he might still hold it as they go round there as well. Again, good conduct from all the riders. Most of them had plenty of track time yesterday, so they know which way the circuit goes. They're familiar with it, but it's John Ross and bike number one leading them through, and that is Jaden Carrick sitting right behind Toby Summers. A place or two, but you'll get that sorted, no doubt, as the field settles down. 2018 starters I see there from a field. No, there's a few more than that there. There is 24 in the field. This is the biggest field for the 600, the Pirelli Formula 2 600 Supersport class, and there was I see just 21 on the program, down to 19 for round 3 at Wanganui on Boxing Day. But there's John Ross out there at the moment, just looking to our qualifying again. We'll go back to the qualifying times, and Jaden Carrick was the fastest qualifier, but the times are interesting to see what the splits were. There wouldn't be much in it, and the top 3 all in 68s. Adam Chambers at 69, took the next 4, 5, 6 right through to position number 8, including Aaron Hassan and Thomas Kreutz from Germany, all in the 1 second off the pace. So that will give you some indication as to what a tightly contested class this is. Internationally, it is also tightly contested, no question about that.
Good Suzuki battle out there in the front. I thought John Ross might get away with this, but it looks like Jaden Carrick is really napping on his heels, and turn 1 near the Toyota corner, went right up on the inside of Ross, and those 2 bikes, the last 2 New Zealand Supersport 600 Championship bikes, John Ross won last year. The year before, Dennis Charlotte won on this bike. On the Monday, it went down to Wanganui and was sold straight away to Jaden Carrick, and Jaden spent a lot of time saving up a few bucks, and it looks like it's paid off there in a good solid second space. Dan met him on the CBR 600. He was a impressive rider all the way through the Winter Series. He's always been a good solid rider, but he just went in leaps and bounds this year, sitting on a Honda for the Wolfpack Racing in 3rd spot, followed by Toby Summers. Toby Summers put on a good showing last weekend on the Yamaha R6 777, sponsored by the Summers Plumbers. Then we have another one of the Wolfpack Racing's, Adam Chambers, Avalon Biddle, showing her international experience. Been over in, you can see he's most of the year racing, and she's sitting there just off the pace of the top 5. The top 5 are all racing really for that podium, and there's Avalon Biddle on the Repsol Suzuki, sponsored by Repsol, of course, and the bright orange leathers. Dan
right,
we get the fastest lap.
Interesting enough, it's a 12, what is it, 10, 12? It's a 12 lapper, and the points worth looking at as well there too. Toby Summers leads on the points with 47, Jaden Carrick 1 point behind on 46, and this of course is as they started this race, so that's where they're all at the moment. And then we go back to Adam Chambers. There we are, the young fella from the Hawke's Bay on 40, Daniel Mettam 36, Rhys Holmes 33, and all the way from Germany, Thomas Kreutz on 31. So that points table is very, very close, and again, different circuit, different day, different time as well, and anything can change. But it's the orange number 1 bike of Christchurch's John Ross, and John will not be going to Wanganui. He's heading home for Christmas in Christchurch. Still the race leader, but absolutely nothing in it. You can see bike links only as they go across the track. Jaden Carrick sitting right up there as well. Daniel Mettam hunting them down there, and then we go back to Toby Summers, the fastest lap that time around. Ahead of Adam Chambers, Avalon Biddle, and Aaron Hassan on the number 14 bike. That's his older brother's bike from last year, and sadly we won't see older brother Jared this year, either because he has a broken arm from a race accident in the Auckland Club round. Championship round just a week or 2 before Hampton Downs, so sadly, but it's the youngster out there at the moment that's doing it all, and a very competent little rider as well.
He's also riding with a broken collarbone he sustained only a few weeks ago, and at the Taupo round of the Vic Club, so he's still got that lingering broken collarbone. He was running about 14th last weekend. He's moved up here to 8th, and that's good. He's a very mature rider for his age.
Probably a slightly easier circuit to ride, I would think, too, if you've got a broken collarbone. This is sounds of MotoGP, for heaven's sake. They all had broken collarbones at some stage or other, didn't they? Big move down the back straight, and Carrick under a lot of pressure, and that's under a lot of pressure from Daniel Mettam as well. Hula, we've got a gap Where was that? Oh no, it's down to 4. I thought we suddenly had a gap behind the tyre wall where we can't see it. And it is now Toby Summers takes the line straight down the middle of the track there, and he might be going down on the inside of Daniel Metum there. That hasn't changed. Yes, it has. Jaden Carrick goes wide, coming out of Toyota, and swinging round to the midfield again there. My word, Summers, he has just made the big move. He's made 2 big moves. Moved up into second place. Now he is a huge threat to John Ross ahead because he sits about 3 bike lengths behind him, and suddenly relegated Daniel Metum and Jaden Carrick both to the minor money, and that's the closest, although John Ross still very much in control. He doesn't have the number 1 plate for nothing at all, and that is a big gap, 2 and 3 right now, 30-40 metres, and that's back to Daniel Metum and to Jaden Carrick. But John Ross led from the start, still leads, and under a huge amount of pressure now from the rider who heads the points table. Mind you, there's only 1 point in it between these 2 guys as well there too. Into the braking area for, I was going to call it Dunlop again, and we have a change of lead. That was some outstanding riding from Toby Summers. Into the lead he goes across the stripe, a new leader, but my word, there's a half a bike length from it only, and John Ross holds the middle line down to Toyota, and again, it's the faster line that counts there again, and that is, of course, if you come out wide, go across the apex of the corner quicker, and that is exactly what Toby Summers has done. And all that carry on, of course, and this is what's going to happen, the 2 behind, and that is Jaden Carrick and Daniel Metum are going to try and catch up. Adam Chambers off the pace a little bit further back, so too Avalon Biddle, and Reese Holmes, Thomas Kreutz, Aaron Hassard, still sitting all ahead of Alistair Hugenbusen as well there too in the top 10, with all the interest surely right now at the front of the field, and the great little battle unfolding here as they head up to Higgins again. 7 still to go. We're not even halfway through there yet into Higgins, and this is everything that we thought that the Pirelli tyres Formula 2 600 Supers would be about, and a change of leader again down the back straight, and that is outstanding stuff. Well, there we are. Spider, it's the points table, as I said before. Jaden Carrick Toby Summers has 47 points, Jaden Carrick 46, but it's the rider who's not on the points table, of course, is John Ross. So it's not a question of points, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but right now that Suzuki seems to be quicker in a lot of places on the track, but Toby Summers is just out there riding the wheels off things, particularly going into the big Honda Pepsi Max corner off the back straight. Toby's just pulling about sometimes 8 to 10 bike minutes over above John Ross. The rest of the pack moved up there, and Momentum's down 2 points behind
it always happens, doesn't it?
John Ross, and Jaden Carrick, who was really there in second place there, is not too far off the place. And
well, what Jaden Carrick has to be very careful of doing, of course, he's 1 point behind Toby Summers, so he doesn't want to lose touch. That's the big thing. He wants to be, but he's lost the battle at the moment. He's sitting at 4th, and it's at 30 or 40 metres behind the top 3.
All the top riders in the 108s except for John Ross on the 109s, although John Ross seems to be the quickest out. Look at that Suzuki reeling that Yamaha down the straight. As I say that, it doesn't seem to have any difference in it, but watch the 777 bike of Toby Summers outbrake everyone else going into the corner, and that's, he's moved about 5 or 6 bike lengths. Dan Metum backs into it, and then John Ross gets a bike. Remember, we've got Yamaha, Suzuki, and then a Honda here for the first race of the 600s of the Suzuki Tri-Series. Absolutely spectacular racing, and it's just going to go better all day. There's the big move up on the inside. I think that was Jaden Carrick, or was it? No, it was Dan Metum. Climbed up there on the inside and took over second place. So the early leader, John Ross, is relegated down the third place. He's under threat now by Jaden Carrick in 4th spot there. So it's not over yet. There's only Adam Chambers there in 5th spot, and we look at that. Avalon Biddle's lost a couple of places, and it looks like maybe Reese Holmes taken through there. And there's another rider that Thomas Kreutz is starting to come through. Thomas had a plain black bike last weekend, but he's changed the colours. We've got the Al Hugenbusen bike there in 9th spot.
Well, Thomas he's leading that little group coming out of the hairpin now. He's leading the social pack. The interesting thing, Jaden Carrick needs to know, John Ross it's immaterial to the points for him. John Ross is racing here today only. He's not on the leaderboard in the points at the moment after Hampton Downs, and he won't be at Wanganui. So as far as Jaden Carrick is concerned, this is a class he's quite determined to win as well there too. He sits 1 point behind Toby Summers, so Toby Summers is the man that he's got to try and keep in touch with, and that is why Jaden Carrick 4th place at the moment on the 55 Suzuki, and he is, he closes wide up at Toyota again. In fact, he looked to go on the inside of Toyota of John Ross. It didn't quite come off that time, and in the meantime, of course, this young Daniel Metum. Daniel, 17 years of age. So the youngster, and my word, he's just come a long way very, very quickly. A big threat now to Toby Summers onto the braking for the hairpin once again, and they're travelling with, they'll get the, they'll be told 3 to go when they cross the stripe next time around. Now we just see how it all unfolds. John Ross again, moving up and behind Metum, he's going to take the tight line into Higgins. It's not going to pay off, and Toby Summers very much the man in control. Loves the faster, wider line out the back, and again nothing between. This is outstanding racing in the Prowley Supersport, and again we just see, I'm looking to see when Jaden Carrick, has he got it in him to make the big move on the Suzuki? No question about the talent there.
He's done it. Jaden Carrick's come through in the 3rd spot.
Now the interesting thing there too, that's the move that he had to make. That was the move. Is he getting pit signals down there as well? They're too, telling him just make sure how long he's got to go, and that's the important thing as well. So John Ross, surprisingly, he is the New Zealand 600 Supersport champion. He is the reigning champion. I guess the South Island rounds in a few weeks' time will be the telling thing for him, and that's what he'll be there to defend. But Jaden Carrick now knows that he's got to make the move, and he's got to make. So Jaden is sitting in 3rd. He needs to get past the guy that's in 2nd and see if he can do something about the guy who's leading. But the guy who's leading is very, very much running hot to trot at the moment. Toby Summers, bike 777, the black and Dago coloured bike. My word, it's a very distinctive machine to pick up.
And of course the other 3 riders in the front there, over and above John Ross, have all been racing last weekend, and both 777 Toby Summers and Jaden Carrick, number 55, have been doing the motard class as well. So these guys have got the most. I'm wondering whether John Ross is his fitness coming into play. You know, he's normally a healthy man, and he was the Iron Man of the Superbike season a couple of years ago, both running both the Superbike and the 600. But
there's a lot to be said for that.
Wearing out.
There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah. Well, we often say in all sorts of motorsport as well, just as much as any other sport, it's a question of being match fit coming to the big ones, and this is second round of 3 in a hot shot series, and again I think Jaden is going to have to. Daniel Metum is posing a huge problem for Jaden Carrick right at this moment. What's the difference in age, 1st and 2nd? You're looking 10 years, I suppose.
I wouldn't tell you how old Toby is, but
he's been around for a while. He'd be late. He's in the late 20s.
He used to race in England on the 600.
He did too.
Here and specialised in the motards.
He's a man in his late. Well, the other thing too, of course, is what Jaden Carrick, if he can't make it, he could be hoping that Daniel Metum can make the move, and he is making the move right now. He doesn't. Yes, he did.
Yes.
No, he didn't. Tried the big. Was that? That's no.
Yes,
it's still
he's through there. Yep,
he has made
one up
the
on
move
the inside, and it looked
Higgins.
like he was going to balk Toby Summers, but he's got out there, and he's got probably 12 bike lengths, and Jaden Carrick is highly under the inside of Toby Summers. That's 55 bike GK Gardner home sponsor machine. That's put the long-time race leader Toby Summers back into the 3rd place as the white flag comes out here for the first race of the 600s. Excellent racing.
Righto to Toyota for the last time. They're running under the weight right now.
Oh, who's that gone down? Toby Summers? No, it's not Toby Summers, sorry. It's one of those first 3. As Jaden Carrick has gone round on Toyota corner. He's up and he's okay, so let's get back out to the front, and it's still Dan Metum, and they're selling plus lappers at the moment. So Dan Metum, 777 Toby Summers, and then we go back to the early race leader John Ross on the number 1 bike. So Jaden Carrick slides off here on the final lap of the Toyota corner. Let's get back out to the front, and Daniel Metum's the fastest on the track, put in a 1:08.557, and he's just disappearing with us at the moment. It may have come into play that Jaden Carrick just briefly held up
well, they were all together. They were all together there, so something, that's where you'll see
big moment for Dan Metum there. He come right up out of the seat. He's lost that lead. I don't know how he got away with that one. I could see air under his ass, a lot of air under there, and Toby Summers has gone through there. There's 3 or 4 bike lengths, and as they dive into the next corner.
Spider, that was coming out of Higgins too. We let the crowd know that, just in case it didn't see it, because into the sweeper they go now on the last lap, the race for the checker flag, and all of a sudden that quartet that was providing so much entertainment is now down to Toby Summers. So I lead the points table. I want everything to happen down. I've come here to Manfield to do exactly the same thing. Daniel Metum and John Ross at one stage there was the leader, saw it all disappear, and it's good to see they've just both slowed down over there at Toyota as well to see how Jaden Carrick is.